I think I've just found the perfect mixer for plugging in your stuff, using your device like Loopy Pro to loop stuff with, or using your device for guitar tones, but then also being able to live stream from the same mixer. And it's this. And I didn't even know this existed. This is the mix Pro. It's a audio mixer for smartphone and PC. However, it's got more modern tech than your average audio interface, and at the same time, you're able to send the signal for live streaming whilst being able to hear it, and I'm going to take you through what this has. So here it is. This is actually the mixer. Now you can see it's really, really small. It's really lightweight, just over 200 grams in weight, and it's got a nice trick up its sleeve, so I'm just going to switch it on. Do you notice there's no cables? It's got a built-in battery, so you can use this completely portable and plug in your instruments. Speaking of which, there's actually 2 combi jacks either side for channel 1 and channel 2. There's also an instrument in at the bottom here, and you've got an aux as well. So if you're being cheeky, you could plug in a microphone or guitar on these ones. You've got 2 separate monos, although it only controls by 1 level, so you'd have to be careful with that. And you've got the aux in, so you can plug a keyboard in by aux in. So you could technically plug in 5, potentially 6 instruments. Then on top of all that, if you're plugging in a device for playing backing tracks into the aux, it's got a center cancel, so you can cancel out the middle part or the voice, so you can utilize the most out of that. You've also got not 1, but 2 monitor outs, and they're by TRS jack. But also, you've got a full main out, so you've got a 6.35mm left and right out. Channel 1 and channel 2, you can see the green lights there. They've actually got reverb on, so you've got 3 different kinds of reverb, or you can turn it off. The final one at the bottom here is microphone to channel 2 via earphones. So if you've got earphones with a microphone on, or you've got a headset, you can plug that in here. The main power button's in the middle, as you can see, but next door to it, you've got 48 volts phantom power. So you can drive 48 volts to each channel if you really want to. And the guitar has a low and a high impedance, so you can turn that on as well. If it's a low impedance guitar, you can obviously boost the signal. Now, if that's not enough, the pièce de résistance with this is it's got 3 USBs. The middle one is to charge the battery, but then you've also got OTG1 and OTG2. OTG1, what you can do with this is where you'd plug in your iPad or a device. Say if I want to use Loopy Pro, I plug my iPad into here. The audio from here comes out of there and goes into Loopy Pro and then comes back in again. Or let's say you're plugging in your guitar and you want the tones from an iOS app or an Android app from a guitar app. You can plug that into here by USB-C, and then it'll get that signal out and back into the device. And then finally, OGT2 is where you send this out for live streaming. So you could send this out to a PC, a Mac, or another device like a phone. So you could use a tablet and a phone. So the tablet's running Loopy Pro, and then your phone is live streaming, and it's all done on one device.
So hi, what I've done is I've plugged a couple of things in, and I've got my guitar here, I've got my microphone. Microphone's going into channel 1, guitar's going in wirelessly in channel 2, so you can hear that. And then I've plugged in the iPad, which is using Loopy Pro. Now, if you're not familiar with Loopy Pro, I've got a playlist all about it. Go and watch it. I'll put a card up now. The input is actually being shown on Loopy Pro as input 1 and 2. So I've turned my effects off on Loopy Pro, and I'm just going to turn the effect on channel 1. So 1, 2, 3. This is the first one. 1, 2, 3. That's the middle one. 1, 2, 3. That's the big one. And we can turn it off again. Now, the great thing is it's got those 2 USB-Cs. So OTG2 is what you're hearing right now, and then OGT1 is going into the looper and then coming back out again. This is fab because all of this is battery powered, and I'm not plugged into the mains at all. I've used a Gravity Stand 3D arm with a iPhone holder, one of those cheap sort of £8 iPhone holders with the right adapter just to hold it in place there in the air, and you can see everything plugged in. I say the guitar is wireless, the microphone is plugged directly in. I'm not using 48 volts phantom power. I can monitor myself right here, and that obviously is different to the main mix, which goes out to the PA. So just so there's no illusion, of course, I was using a wireless adapter for the guitar. I'm now going to plug it in via cable. watch the speakers on this one, but I'm going to go a bit louder. Starts to go red, so it actually gives you that little red indicator to show it's too hot coming in, so of course it's going to be distorted going out. The one thing I've noticed, there's a little bit of a hiss coming from somewhere. There's a little bit of a high-end hiss, but you know, it's working quite well. I'm just going to do the guitar and turn. Yeah, there we go. So we can actually use the high impedance on the guitar to boost the signal. Now, the only thing I'd say is it's quite low when you don't have direct monitoring switched on. I haven't got another instrument plugged in yet because I actually don't need one. And then there's another aux in, so you could plug in another device to do things like backing tracks, or you could plug in more guitars here and a keyboard here. So I've just brought up a different kind of project on Loopy Pro. There's no effects on there. The only effects you're hearing is actually coming from the mix. Now, the other thing to be aware of with the looper is direct monitoring. If you have direct monitoring switched on, then it's going to hear itself again when you loop. Let me give you an example of that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 1, 2, 3. So it's almost like a doubling effect. Can you hear it? And then if I stop that and if I was to record again, 4 and a 1, 2, 3, 4 and a 1, 2, 3. If I just 1, 2. If I then just mute this one, hear it? Hear the 1, 2, 3, 4? 2, 3. So the way we get around that is we just need to turn direct monitoring off. Now, if you're monitoring with headphones like I am, and you turn direct monitoring off, then the microphone's coming in this ear and the guitar's coming in this ear. So you have to be aware of that. So to get around that feature, then what we need to do is split the signal. So we're going to add in another input. So we go add hardware input to channel 2, and then we'll just make that one channel 1. And now that one is coming in hopefully together. There we go, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. It's coming in mono basically. So it's not thinking of it like a stereo channel. Does that make sense? And then that's coming in separately as well. And you can see that hopefully just there. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. That way it's not coming in as a stereo feed. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 1. And a 1, 2. Helps if you don't mute it. 4 and a 1, 2, 3, 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 4 and a 1. There you go, they're all set. 3, 4 and a 1. But having that set up correctly is really, really important, obviously, from a performance point of view. And this works. It works really, really well.
So let's talk downsides. 3 major downsides that I can see with this. The first one is the build quality. It is plastic and it's hard and it's fine. However, if this took a drop from the height of that, it could crack. And then it's game over. You wouldn't be able to use it depending on the damage. I'd like to see a metal version, and I'd also like to see a metal version with an adapter on the back. I had to actually get something and construct something so I could put it on a mic stand. It would be really cool if this just had a thread, or it actually had a clip, like based on it, so you could just clip it into the mic stand. Now, clips you can get on the mic stand are pretty simple. You can get them really nice, but one thing I've found is I've actually got this one, which is the iClip, and when I put this on, if we do it right now, it doesn't quite hold it. Did you see that? It literally dropped off because this is a bit too thin. So it'd be really nice if it had a proprietary clip that went with it, something that hugged it properly. Again, a metal clip would be even better. And then just something real simple, something like this, which actually is known as a super clamp. And then you've got this ball head here, and then you just obviously have something to grip it. It'd be really, really useful. So a metal construction and also a clamp on the back, or even a hole, so I could just attach that to that and then it goes straight in. That would be really nice. Now, a nice feature that they actually have with it is it comes with a load of cables. It comes with the white USB-C cables that you saw there. It also comes with lightning adapters. So you get 2 of these in the box, and these are lightning to USB-C adapters. For those of you who have iPhones that are iPhone 14s and lower, then basically you get 2 of them in the box. And that's really cool. I like the fact everything's USB-C. I love that, in fact, because it means I can just plug in a power brick. It's not got a dedicated DC negative positive in, which is really, really cool. So I could run this forever on a huge charging brick, and it says it's DC in, it's 5 volts at 2 amps, and the only thing in the manual is it says it's 2000 milliamps, and I'm wondering if that is the battery. Now an iPhone 15 Pro Max has a bigger than a 2000 milliamp battery, so I'd drain that pretty quickly, turn on 48 volts phantom power, and I don't know how long this is going to last. There's no indication on the website or in the manual how many hours this battery is meant to last under normal conditions and 48 volts phantom power conditions. Now the other thing as well is this is classed as a mixer for mobile devices. It's not an audio interface. However, it does act like one with the OTGs, but there's no kind of preamp on here. So it's not going to have the same kind of high quality that you'll get where you'll get an audio interface with a built-in preamp. So don't expect the highest quality if you're looking to record with this thing, because it's not classed as an audio interface. But it solves an issue which is really, really important about having more than one USB in and out to go basically over to, as I said before, Loopy Pro, and at the same time live streaming to a Mac, a PC, a mobile device, iPhone, Android, it doesn't matter. It means that basically you can carry on live streaming. Imagine if you're busking and you want to live stream as well as do looping with your devices. You can do that right with this, and you've got so many ins. It's just really, really cool, and for what it does, this little beast is packed full of features. Now from everything I've just shown you, you'd probably go, cool, with all these features, with what it can do, it's probably about 200 or 300 quid, right? Well, on Amazon in the UK, this thing is going for £105. I personally would take a power bank with me with this. It'd be cool if this actual battery was a bit bigger, but I'd take a power bank with me so I could charge my devices on the go, and then you've got a whole little unit to have a nice little live gig with. It's a little mixer. It is a mixer, but it's actually portable enough and light enough, really, like 200 grams, 203 grams I think it is, to actually just take with you, throw in a bag, and it's ready to go. All in all, this is a fantastic plug and play little mixer for gigging on the go with your audio devices, but also for live streaming and also plugging in. Maybe you want to plug it, instead of plugging in for Loopy Pro, you want to plug in so you can use the tones on your guitar from an app that you've got. You can do that with this and then plug it into the main out while you're monitoring it as well. But you could easily get 2, if not 3 instruments into this, plus a microphone as well. And with the OTGs at the top, it's actually way cheaper and more advanced than some of its bigger competitors. There's a link in the description box if you want to go and check it out. It is an affiliated link which will take you to Amazon, which if you click and buy, it does help out the channel, but at no extra cost to you. I want to thank Joyo for actually sending this out to me. I didn't even know it existed, and it's something that if I was going to do a set where I'm using things like Loopy Pro, I'd take this with me because it's got more things. If someone goes, oh, can we plug in another device? Or you're at a venue and someone goes, can I plug in a second mic so we can make announcements? Now, one of the downsides of this is obviously the way you plug things in ends up being like some kind of spider legs all kind of coming out of it. But if you want to reduce that, then the option is to go wireless. And if you want to do that, check out this video right here, because that is a nice little wireless option, which are these.